Yesterday in Palisades, we had 1 arrest for a curfew violation. Unfortunately, they resisted arrest. In Eaton, we had 6 arrests last night, 3 for curfew violations and 3 for additional charges, including carrying a concealed firearm and narcotics-related charges. Now, I just gave you stats about things our deputies are dealing with in the street. I want to put out a caution to people. If you are thinking about scamming, using this incident to take advantage of residents that have already been victimized, from a white-collar perspective, I have been in close communication. We had a press conference yesterday with Chief McDonald and I, the State Attorney General. We've been in constant communication with District Attorney Nathan Hochman. I also received a call a day ago from Martin Estrada, the U.S. Attorney here. They are all eager to prosecute anybody who is taking advantage of our residents during this very difficult time, whether it is a burglary or it is some kind of white-collar crime and a scam or anything that you may be thinking about doing. The next issue, which is a little more difficult to talk about, is yesterday we started a search and rescue operation out in the Eaton area where in the first day of this operation, grid searching, we searched approximately 364 properties in the Altadena area, and unfortunately during that search, we did locate 3 deceased. As these searches continue, I unfortunately anticipate that those numbers will increase. We will start a similar operation in the northern side of the county here very soon. So the numbers I have, and again, it's going to change. Unfortunately, we have confirmed 14 deaths, and that is in our specific LA County jurisdiction. 11 at the Eaton fire and 3 in our portion or our jurisdiction in the Palisades fire. LA cities, that's in addition to. So when you hear the coroner, our partners at the coroner reporting numbers, that's a little bit different. Missing persons. I cannot emphasize, because I'm getting text and calls, if you believe somebody is missing, please report it to your local law enforcement agency. Right now, with the Sheriff's Department, we have 16 missing person reports. We have 12 in Eaton and 4 in Palisades. If there's any good news, there's no juveniles that are missing within those numbers. But I know just coming here this morning, it sounds like we just got dozens and dozens more. I have to reconcile those numbers. We'll report them at a later time. Yeah, and then as I conclude, I know I talk about arrest. That is negative. Some of the things we're talking about are sad. But in this time of crisis, the calls for people wanting to help and donate are enormous. And that's who we are in the county of Los Angeles, the city of Los Angeles. So I just want to throw this out. If you are interested in donating food, money, clothing, whatever that may be, the Emergency Network Los Angeles by visiting www.enla.org. And thank you for all of you who are amazing out there who want to help. And then if you want updated information about evacuation orders, warnings, or road closures, lacounty.gov/emergency. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to the Los Angeles Police Chief, Jim McDonald.
Good morning. Thank you, Sheriff. In the wake of the devastating fires, I just want to acknowledge the incredible strength and resilience that our community has shown during these very challenging times. It's truly inspiring to see neighbors coming together to support one another. And as your Chief of Police, I want to ensure you that the LAPD remains fully committed to your safety and well-being as we all move forward together. LAPD currently has over 600 officers deployed to these areas with support from the Los Angeles Airport Police, Port Police, and the National Guard, who has 100 soldiers assigned to the Palisades incident, and we're very grateful for their support. Excuse me. I want to just, touch on, during the evacuation at the early stages, thousands of people fled their homes without notice and without much of anything but the clothes on their back. Traumatic experience, certainly, for everybody involved. We tried to be as compassionate as we could be by putting together escorts that provided limited access for people to get into the area very deliberately and be able to retrieve medication or pets in some cases. What we found was that was successful for those we were able to accommodate, but the numbers became overwhelming. There was frustration, there were long waits to be able to do it, and we still tried to facilitate it, although we weren't able to do that for everyone. Today we need to suspend that practice effective immediately. We have search operations now beginning. We will have cadaver dog deployment, and that will result in crime scene preservation efforts, and then the recovery of remains, working closely with the LA County Coroner. Tomorrow, winds will be picking up, as you heard further, complicating our efforts and creating an additional fire danger. And so the atmosphere is very continuously changing. We have to adapt to the conditions that are presented to us, and in this case, this is a modification that some will have difficulty with, and I apologize for that. We recognize the importance of protecting fire-affected areas, not just from the physical dangers left behind, but also from those who might exploit this tragedy. To that end, our officers are conducting increased patrols in the areas impacted by the fires. Identifying the cause of these fires is critically important. In conjunction with our partner agencies and led by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, we've created the Los Angeles Regional Wildfire Investigative Task Force, who's actively working to identify the cause of the Palisades fire and ultimately all of the fires that we have experienced. LAPD is still enforcing a curfew in Los Angeles City areas where mandatory evacuations are still in place. Last night we made an arrest for an individual who violated that curfew order. As Sheriff Luna referred to the night before, there were 3 individuals in a vehicle. They were stopped. They were where they weren't supposed to be. One had on fire jacket and a fire hat, and he was additionally arrested for impersonating a firefighter. We have people who will go to all ends to be able to do what it is they want to do to exploit the victims of this tragedy. LAPD, the order will remain in place tonight, curfew order from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., and unless you're public safety personnel or some other disaster workers, you have no reason to be at these locations, and if you are in those areas, you will be subject to arrest. Enforcing a curfew is an important tool to keep the burn areas and evacuated properties secure, keeping looters out. This effort also helps protect public safety personnel who are operating in darkness in very difficult conditions. And as you heard previously, the threat there from gas lines, from electricity, down power lines, and many other, not to mention the toxic environment that exists in that area due to the fire that burned plastics and different types of composite material. We all know what the long-term effects of exposure to that can be. I won't go in here to the scams, and the sheriff referred to that, but there are a lot of scams. I would ask that for those of you looking to donate to fire victims, do so with caution. Before contributing, take time to thoroughly research the charity or organization that you're considering. Reputable groups will have clear information about their mission and proven track records. Websites like Charity Navigator and the Better Business Bureau are excellent resources to help verify their legitimacy. It's also good practice to avoid cash donations whenever possible, opting instead for secure, traceable payment methods to ensure that your contributions reach those in need. And if you come upon fraudulent donation requests, please notify us so that we can investigate. Together we can prevent further harm and protect the generosity of our community. In closing, I just want to reiterate that our department and all of us standing here before you and so many others are with you. We're here for you for the duration, not only to ensure your safety, but provide support and resources necessary to recover and ultimately rebuild